Shrine's Legacy nails the 90s vibe so hard you can practically hear the CRT buzz, then undercuts the nostalgia with combat that sometimes moves like it's wearing ankle weights. If you're eyeing this one wondering whether the magic outweighs the friction, here's the short version up front. Play for the world, the music, and the co-op road trip energy. Be ready to forgive a combat system that rarely hits modern tightness. Context matters. This is Positive Concept Games' debut, launched on PC at a budget price point, and published by with Level Up Games. It's an action RPG in the SNES tradition, not turn-based, with local co-op for 2, and yes, it rocks the chunky sprites, bouncy animations, and that unmistakable synthy score. Across reviews, the spread is real. One outlet lands around a 9.5, another near 8.5, and a third sits closer to a 7. That gap isn't random. It maps almost perfectly to how much you care about feel-first combat versus everything else the game does well. Let's talk the good that's actually great. The tonal range is dead-on classic melodrama 1 minute, goofball NPC shenanigans the next, and it's deliberate, not accidental. You'll see it in how the story pivots from legacy and responsibility to slapstick deliveries from a feline mail service without losing the thread. Dual Shockers highlights that thematic variety as the soul of the experience, and they're right. This isn't a one-note nostalgia act. It's a mixtape in motion. Dungeons lean into Zelda DNA, large puzzle-laced spaces with combat gates, and the old mirror and light tricks that still work because they're tactile and readable. You won't be charting a new taxonomy of puzzle design, but the cadence is cozy and confident. Music deserves its own victory lap. Multiple reviews call out how often tracks hit the exact mood of a scene, from cheeky NPC themes to pipe organ menace when the big bad shows up. It's not just good by indie standards, it's the glue that makes the tonal swings feel intentional. You can feel the composer flex into genre shifts too, a touch I wish more retro-leaning indies attempted. Lore drop, small and spoiler safe. The Sword of Shrine is powered by 8 elemental gems, a lineage weapon once used to banish the demon Aklor. Quick spoiler in 3, 2, 1. An early twist has Rima, a mage on the run, intersecting with Rio and the blade in a way that kicks off a reluctant partnership more than a standard. Chosen One walks a straight line setup back to safety. What matters is that Aklor isn't a background wallpaper villain. Lords of Gaming points out he's active, cruel, and present, an antagonist who shows up, ruins your day, and keeps pressure on. That alone elevates the stakes in a subgenre that sometimes forgets to let the villain villain. Co-op is a meaningful differentiator. Solo, you can swap between Rio and Rima on the fly. In 2-player, you revive each other with a simple action and get that mana-like party chaos that makes environmental plate spinning more fun. Game Green gushes about how natural the mode feels once unlocked early on. That matters because certain set pieces, braziers to light while ghosts try to snuff them, moving hands on bosses, pressure switches, just read better with 2 humans. It's not that solo is broken, it's that co-accentuates what the game is good at. Now the friction. The combat is the axis of debate. Dual Shockers calls it serviceable but stiff until you unlock a dodge a few hours in. Lords of Gaming goes further. Limited combos, slow attacks, and an AI partner that mirrors basic melee without capitalizing on your elemental setups can make solo feel toothless. MP regenerating primarily via melee hits means you're incentivized to take risks just to cast, which is a cool idea in theory and a faceplant when bosses punish close-ups with massive damage and long health bars. Spell switching takes a few clicks too many mid-fight. Stack those micro delays and you're fighting the interface almost as much as the monster. Boss tuning swings from clever to mean. The red jelly that demands freezing fodder to break armor? Neat. The ice golem with runaway HP and high damage even on easy? Less neat. Add revive mechanics that can misfire at the margins of certain arenas, and you get frustration spikes that feel more technical than tactical. This is the core reason for the 710 camp. Not that the game lacks ideas, but that the ideas don't reliably translate into satisfying hand feel under pressure. Systems-wise, the jewel loadout concept is robust on paper. There are 32 different jewels with perks that let you shape a build. Minimap in dungeons from the Dungeoneer jewel is an early quality of life win, and weapon modifiers that promise real variety. The catch is equipping only at save points. I get the old school intent. Locking customization to sanctuaries can heighten planning and preserve pacing. In practice, it can throttle experimentation. The game wants you to tinker, then asks you to wait to tinker. That's a mismatch. Technical notes are mostly mild but worth mentioning. Expect occasional geometry weirdness and city hitching reported on some setups, plus a camera layer priority quirk that can hide enemies behind trees at the worst time. None of that sank the ship in the reviews we saw, but it nibbles at the experience, especially when the combat already needs every ounce of clarity it can get. Also, there's no autosave. That's faithful, sure, and the save points are fairly frequent, but the muscle memory of modern games will betray you. Save often, your future self will buy you a coffee. Here's the interesting genre argument. Is this closer to Chrono Trigger nostalgia or the Quintet lineage, Soul Blazer, Illusion of Gaia, Terranigma? Community voices lean Quintet, and I agree. It's the hands-on world interaction, the action combat, and the big-hearted spiritual tone that feel more like those titles than like a time-traveling, turn-based epic. That's not a downgrade, it's a better frame for what the game is chasing. Veteran Games take. Shrine's Legacy is a recommend with asterisks. If you show up for melody-first world-building puzzle dungeon cadence and a capital V villain, you'll have a great time, especially in co-op. If you need snappy animation-rich combat and exact boss tuning, you'll feel the seams. The jewel system wants to be the finesse tool but gets tripped by its own save point leash. The dodge unlock improves flow but never fully fixes stiffness. This is a love letter with smudged ink, beautiful, heartfelt, a little messy. If this kind of no BS deep dive is your thing, hitch a ride with Veteran Game and hit subscribe. If you're nodding or fuming, toss a like so this take survives the algorithm. Final thought to chew on. In a retro-leaning action RPG, how much does combat crispness matter if the story, music, and dungeons sing? Does co-op tip the scales enough to forgive the hand feel, or is that a hard line for you? Debates open.